Hey everybody, Dave Isaacs here. I want to talk to you today about riffs, and specifically using intervals of fourths and fifths to come up with interesting sounds and hooky riffs. Remember that a riff is a musical hook. It's going to be often the first thing the listener hears. So we want to make sure that it's going to be something that grabs people right from the get-go, and of course it's also something that's likely to recur, to come back later on in the song, so you don't want them to be bored when it comes back. So it's got to have a strong rhythmic aspect to it. It's got to have a strong melodic aspect to it. And of course it has to have great tone and great feel and all of those things. Just remember that when it comes to composition in music, the ideas of repetition and variation are really important. Repetition creates familiarity and form, and variation creates interest. So, talking about fourths and fifths, for those of you who may not be as familiar with music theory, it's as simple as this. If I take a note and play a scale, the distance between note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and note 5 is called a fifth, or a perfect fifth. Same idea, note 1 to note 4. And they have two different characters to them. This is probably pretty familiar to you, that two-finger index ring power chord. And this one may be also the flat finger covering two adjacent strings. But when you start combining them, things get really interesting. Palette just broadens immediately. So I want to point out the primary fingerings for fifths and fourths across the neck. The movable two-finger I just discussed, and the flat finger. And this works on 6-5, 5-4, 4-3. Now we get to 3-2, and our fifth is 3 frets apart. Our fourth is 1 fret apart, and then back to 2 frets for the fifth, same fret for the fourth. And as familiar as all of this is, those fourths and fifths in the higher areas of the guitar, the higher pitches, don't get used as much, and there's so much cool stuff that can come out of that. And we can totally change the character of a riff just by moving it to a different place. Something that sounds one way down here has a different feeling here. Might completely change the song. Maybe you start off and then when you move down, creates a tremendous amount of power. So I'm just going to noodle a little bit with fourths and fifths. of course, that's just, you know, a little bit of messing around, but you see how there's cool things that can happen when you start adding different rhythms than stuff we associate primarily with harder rock. That's a rhythmic thing, but if you move it up, same sound, different feeling. Could be a whole different song. So there's so much to play with here, so just start experimenting. 2 patterns, or rather 2 fingerings. And a whole world of possibilities. So get started, create some great riffs, make your songs come to life, have fun. I'm Dave Isaacs, thanks for watching.